What's the name of the book again, please?
It's called The Medici Effect. For you, well worth the investment. It was brought up yesterday. If you haven't watched Mr. Holland's Opus in a while, have you ever seen Mr. Holland's Opus? A music teacher from Michigan, actually, from Holland, Michigan, who was unfortunately thrust into the teaching ranks when he didn't want to be. He's a musician and a composer. Has anybody ever seen this movie years and years ago? Probably. Well worth the $6 on Amazon or whatever. Get a used copy and watch him work with kids. Watch him discover teaching again. Phenomenal movie, Mr. Holland's Opus. I'll pass that around if you haven't seen it. And most of you have probably never seen this movie. Back to the Medici Effect. It's called Renaissance Man. Have you ever seen Renaissance Man? Yes. Danny DeVito. Danny DeVito, the Penguin.
Yeah, the little short guy.
The little short guy from Taxi, for those of you who are in the zone I am, with gray hair and so forth. He is a sales marketing executive in downtown Detroit who loses his job and is assigned to become a teacher on a military base for the perceived dumbest crew on the base that he has to teach English to and basic skills. They are called the double Ds. Pardon me, but they're called the dumbest dog shits. That's what they call themselves. They perceive themselves as such, but what he discovers in himself as a teacher and how the students come from where they thought they were to where they ended up is an amazing story. The script was actually written at Selfridge Air National Guard Base down in Columbus. So it comes out of Michigan. You'll see Detroit and Blue Water Bridge and Port Huron and those sorts of things featured in the movie. It's about Shakespeare, how he uses Shakespeare with the double Ds to discover themselves. I got $6 in Amazon. I bought 3 copies, I think, just in time. So I'll pass that around. It's well worth. If there are young children around, I would caution for a little bit. There's some rough language on the front end of it, particularly. So you have to watch for that. But it's a part of culture setting sort of things for that group. That's all I really wanted to brush up from yesterday. Any comments or questions about any of that stuff? I'm just looking for tools for you, some resources. I want to thank Doug and his team. He has graciously purchased a number of copies of the book that we're going to refer to today, our book on generative leadership. That's where we're headed. It's a tool that I think will be useful to you in many levels. But yesterday afternoon and evening, there was a lot of discussion, a lot of interesting points about some of the things we kicked around yesterday about memory and emotion and just the brain itself, how fascinating it really is. And what I thought I would do is just share a little something with you today that I just find completely fascinating. Does anybody here have any family members or friends who are dealing with Alzheimer's or dementia of any type, memory loss? You've heard about people like that.
Everybody when they age.
Everybody when they age. I want to share with you again.
Did they label everybody over 65
with dementia?
With Alzheimer's now.
Everybody has some level of Alzheimer's. Dementia's first, actually. Alzheimer's is second. It's deeper, right? Dementia, actually, the memory loss, confusion, that sort of stuff is dementia. It turns to Alzheimer's when it becomes more behaviorally associated.
What kind of behavior?
Typically anger, bitterness, those sorts of things.
They sort of think that something's happening to them that's not, so they get angry.
They get mad at you, and their personalities shift quite a bit. At least that's the way I've been.
Well, my wife and I both have that already.
Oh, is that right? You started there? Okay. I want to share this with you. This is from, again, the Scientific American Frontiers. The reason I want to share this with you is because the brain is just so incredibly fascinating. And this is from a series, again, this Scientific American Frontiers. Alan Alda is the host. Every one of these is downloadable. You can watch it online. It's streaming video. So you don't need to go buy this. I bought it for training purposes. I'll pass this around just so you have the log on it. But it's pbs.org, and then you go find it. But take a watch at this. This is really pretty cool.
When I was 12, I went swimming alone and surfed down there. It was rougher than it is today. I was a strong swimmer. For a while, it was fun letting the waves pull me out to sea, tumble me over and over again under the surface. tried to get out, I couldn't. I started to panic. I realized I might drown. Eventually, I was able to claw my way up the beach, grabbing at handfuls of sand. That was 55 years ago, and I still remember it vividly. I remember the waves pummeling me, taking me under wet sand under my fingernails. The roar of the waves. I remember the sting of the salt spray. So where and what is memory? How is it tucked away in my brain, ready to come back in an instant? Tucked away along with, but separate from, hundreds of thousands of maybe millions of other memories. Where's the smell of the salt spray, the grittiness of the sand, the crashing of the rocks? In the next hour, we're going to find out how we create our memories, not just vivid ones like this, but where I left my car keys, the name of that familiar-looking person across the room there. And we'll be looking at how memories are lost, how as we grow older, they become slippery and elusive. Sometimes vanishing forever, erasing our past and who we are. We're starting our exploration of memory a few miles up the coast from La Jolla, with a man whose own ability to create memories vanished almost entirely a decade ago. Ever since, he's been helping researchers from the University of California, San Diego.
Hi, good to see you.
Today, Larry Squire and Jen Frascino are on the latest of many visits the team has made to the man known to memory researchers everywhere as EP.
Oh, wonderful. Got a nice son for the camera.
Yeah. EP is now 82. In 1992, retired from a career in electronics, he suffered an acute virus infection that destroyed part of his brain.
That's what I like.
Most of his thinking skills survived the damage virtually intact.
Why should people pay taxes?
To support their country and their counties and states to pay for things.
If you were lost in the forest during the day, how would you go about finding your way out?
I would find a river and follow the river down to wherever it may go. Ocean, lake.
EP can also copy complex drawings. And he not only has no difficulty repeating back a list of words, in this case, dog, raccoon, lion, and parrot.
Dog, raccoon, lion, and a parrot.
Hey. But he even has a little sly fun with Jen along the way.
What you gotta add is about 2 more.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Would that make it tougher?
And that would catch her. Leave. Medicine.
EP really hits his stride when the testing of his cognitive skills involves Jen's laptop computer.
Gold. Having been in electronics over the years, I am amazed at all this. It's just wonderful. Believe me, little printed